another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. I'm your host, Sam Randazzo, and I am joined today by my two mildly warm co-hosts. To my right, it is the one, the only, the sweaty Uncle Sam.
Hello.
And to my left, it is none other than our very own Mr. Zolo, Mike Palazzolo.
Blessed.
We are back and better than ever. Blessed indeed. It's been a while. There were hugs exchanged when Uncle Sam and Zolo greeted each other for the first time today. Just because,
Massive hug.
He smells great.
yeah, fresh out of the shower.
Oh, good.
He's got the fresh board shorts on today, ready to rock and roll. We're back. We've been in kind of a mull, I would say. Not all that much going on, but we got some stuff to update you guys on. Some opinions to talk about. We've got some beautiful Detroit sports to break down. Bruce, how the fuck are you back there, bud?
Fantastic.
Bruce came today in the tightest, shortest khaki shorts he owned.
Oh, my God. He looks like he's ready to go to the Blue Oyster.
What's the Blue Oyster for those that don't know?
If a lot of you, only people from the 80s would know what the Blue Oyster is. There was a series of movies called Police Academy, and they used to make fun of the Blue Oyster. It was a gay bar, and that's where Bruce looks exactly where he's going, to the gay bar.
Bruce, how have you been since we've been off air?
Fantastic.
Yeah?
Fantastic.
Good.
Bruce is angry. He's mad. He doesn't get any respect, and he's treated like a slave.
Not for long, because pretty soon the Bruce cam will be installed, and then
I can't wait.
you guys will all get to see
I
his
want
beautiful
everybody to see
pink
how
face.
absolutely
Pink.
obliterated this kid is.
Just pink.
Okay.
Zolo, how have you been since we have been off air? And, high points, low points, pits, peaks of the summer thus far.
I'm good. Still can't stand my job.
Russian
That's
roulette,
it.
baby.
Yeah, you might be right. You might be
In
right.
that chamber.
Picks, peaks. I'm excited for football season. Summer ends, in my opinion, at 4th of July. Am I wrong about that? Summer's on the decline at that point.
No.
Actually, it's well before 4th of July.
I love that. I agree.
It's like right at the end of June when the first day of summer is the longest day of the year.
Yeah.
And then it starts getting shorter.
Well, the
again.
days start getting shorter. Those are still some of the longest days of the year. I just personally think that after 4th of July, it's just not great from there.
I know.
See, I'm on the opposite end of the fence. I don't think summer ends till October 1st. I consider September summer. And I've always been a firm believer in this, that September is summer. The only reason why it didn't feel like summer is because we were in school. And that's why it didn't feel like summer. But now that there's no school, September is summer. You get the best weather of the summer in
Because
September.
Now, as we're going forward, it's getting warmer in November.
What?
The longest days
It's
for
not
me
as
are working
cold.
with Bruce.
I'm just saying it's not as cold, so it still feels like
Longest
summer in
days
like
of my
October.
Yeah, I mean, if
little
you're
bit
lucky, you
warmer
get like
now.
the first week of October where it's halfway decent, and then it's a shit bag from
recording
there.
this or we got chat this live?
Everything, yeah, we're golden.
Oh, we're fucking live right now?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Where's
You
the
didn't-
chat room?
You didn't
Bruce?
hear me introduce?
Where's the
Have
chat
the
room?
chat pulled up.
See, Dan in
They
the chat.
have the chat.
Hold on.
I don't see the chat.
Well,
Not like you can read the chat if it were up anyway.
Hey, asshole, put the chat up, you dickhead.
listen.
What?
Dan in the chat just said, chasing summer through the end of October. September is for sure summer. September is summer.
Anyway.
Fall doesn't start till October 1, and I'm going to stand by that.
Listen, summer starts to end after 4th of July because you're starting to clean up for the end of the summer, and people take those last trips, and then summer is over, in my opinion, after Labor Day weekend. I think it ends Labor Day weekend.
I'm just waiting for that first 32-degree day.
Why? The first 32-degree day, I got news
I
for
hate
you.
the
I am
fucking heat.
out of here. I
hate the fucking heat.
gone. Anyways, how have you been in the last month since we've last spoke?
Anyway. Let's move on
Okay.
to the next subject.
Dan in the chat, Unk is starting to sound like our president.
Listen, asshole. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping. We were smoking opium, and I'm getting ready to just Murder Bruce.
How's this font size, by the way, on the notes?
Yeah.
Sorry?
I was
Good
gonna
font
say, as
size
long
for
as
you?
that was, it's a font.
Font
Oh,
big
yeah,
enough?
it's beautiful. I can see it very well.
Well, yeah, because for
Almost without my glasses.
That's
almost.
good. That's what I was
Almost.
going for.
Where's Leon?
Leon's not in the
Leon's not
chat right now. And Leon got sent a direct link
Hey,
today.
somebody
hold
want to
on,
wake
hold on,
this
hold on.
asshole up?
Can you read the chat right now?
What?
Can you read it?
Dan,
All I see is Dan.
well, Dan
Yeah,
is.
but
Dan's
I'm asking
heavily
you,
involved
can
in
you
the chat.
can you read what the words say?
Can you
on
read the last
Yes,
sentence
I
on
can.
there? What does it say?
Someone make sure he doesn't trip on stage.
Yes, he's referring to you being like the president.
Okay.
Anyways,
You know my wife talks that shit to me too. Hello.
But in a different language, right?
Yeah, she says I'm fucked up just like he is. But anyway,
oh wow, a blast from the past. Dark Lumen in the chat, back with us.
ouch, my ear.
Shout out to Lumen.
Oh, what does that mean?
He's talking about Trump.
Oh,
No, I think he's talking about us. But either way, should we get right into it?
Yeah.
We got a lot of news to break down today.
Listen,
hey, this is for Dark Lumen.
I loaded this docket. I completely loaded this docket. You can jump around. You can pick and choose where you want to go. But
Let's start
I got
right
some
off.
talking points.
Be-
Let's
before
start right off.
Well,
by
hold on.
Fisting Dark Lumen.
before we do that, Dark Lumen in the chat just wanted to ask,
January 6th. Shit.
where is your ear patch?
Oh God.
So I was right.
Where's your ear patch? Yes, actually, shout out to Dark Lumen, Bay Area native and longtime friend of the show. We are going to start out with some Brendan Aiyuk news, who has he officially requested a trade? Or
Oh,
is he
he's
still,
officially requested it.
is he still
wants
playing
out.
Instagram games?
He wants out.
Well, he had a video pop up with Jaden Daniels a few weeks ago.
Okay.
So everybody was saying, oh, he's a shoo-in for the Commanders. And then I believe San Francisco came out and said, we're not going to trade him.
Correct.
And now, where are we at?
Possibly doing the Le'Veon Bell. I'm going to sit out for the next year.
Well,
and
25
become
minutes
a free agent.
25 minutes ago, Adam Schefter came out and said that the 49ers do not intend on trading him.
Yeah. You know what that means, right?
So are we, despite the fact that he is officially asked to move on from them?
Well, Dark Lumen says he's playing games.
He's
Playing Russian roulette, bud.
I'm starting to lean towards he's playing games too, and he's still going to be there next year. But he wants to get paid.
I thought he signed his tender or whatever that was. I thought he was all happy there.
He's
Buck
under
back.
contract. He's under
is under
contract, and,
contract.
he's on his rookie deal. And it's the same. A year ago, we did this song and dance with a lot of people. We did it
Yeah.
with Saquon. The list was long. We did it a year ago, and I'm always of the opinion that more often than not, these things get resolved. If things are tumultuous, it would have happened before, sometime in the offseason, before the draft or around draft time. After that, these teams are happy with everything. They have everything in place. They have their depth charts in place. They have their financials in place. And I don't see that changing. More often than not, they either get resolved or the player shows up. Like T. Higgins is showing up for Cincinnati. He signed the franchise tag.
Correct.
It's probably his
Yeah, but
last year
that
there.
San Francisco did not franchise Aiyuk.
No, because he's under contract. They don't have
Right.
to. They have team control. So
Yeah.
so they have all the leverage. And that's why I don't see this going anywhere. Very worst case, if you're a Niners fan, I think you end up with Aiyuk not showing up or holding out into the beginning of the year. I think he does show up eventually, but this is a locker room that had some attrition, and it's very difficult. When you're the loser of the Super Bowl, it's very difficult to go back. It's one thing people say, oh, you moved championship game, it's hard to make it back. I disagree. It's not hard to make it back to the championship game, but when you're the loser of the Super Bowl, it is hard to make it back. And this is a step in the wrong direction, coupled with the fact that Ricky Pearsall, the guy they drafted at the end of the first round, to kind of be Aiyuk's replacement down the road, Ricky Pearsall has started on PUP. So there's a hypothetical where they could start the season without two receivers, which is something to keep an eye on.
And he's on the non-football injury list.
It doesn't matter. They got, what's that big kid, the big tall kid? Jennings.
Third and Juwan.
That's it.
Third and Juwan.
Yeah, but
He's going to be the guy.
that pretty much puts Pearsall out for all of camp.
At the PUP list, if he's starting the season on the PUP list, that's one thing. That's week 6. Not eligible to week 6.
No, he's
Yeah,
not on.
he starts.
If he starts the season on the PUP, then yes,
Correct.
but he will not participate in training camp, is what they said.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that.
Can I pose a question to the board?
Sure.
How good is Aiyuk? Is Aiyuk worth bending over backwards for? Is Aiyuk a $30 million guy? How realistically, how good is he? Because I go back and forth on this. Like, realistically,
He's what makes the engine go.
I disagree with that.
I think he's the guy that stretches the field and he makes that offense very hard to fucking stop.
The 49ers think he's 26 to 27 million good. I think that's extremely replaceable in that offense because they have guys that can catch passes everywhere. And I don't know about makes the engine go. He's their best deep threat by far.
Well, I mean, without him, you're taking a layer of the field away. Without him, they don't have anybody else that could really go deep.
Okay.
I think they have an engine, and I don't think it's him.
No.
Well,
I think it's the guy.
The engine is McCaffrey. I mean,
I don't even think it's. I don't think it's him. You and I are on the same page.
Debo is.
Debo opens up so much.
Debo is the engine. He's the key to everything they do.
This is the problem I have with that. If we're talking about $26, $27 million guys, right? Are you taking Brendan Aiyuk or Devonta Smith?
He's their leading receiver.
Honestly,
Their leading receiver.
honestly, I am taking Aiyuk in the.
See, I don't think I am. I think I'm
That's
taking
fair.
Devonta Smith.
That's fair. The line's blurred.
Cooper Kupp or Brendan Aiyuk. Even at this point in his
Cooper
career,
Kupp.
I'm still taking Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
And below him is Nico Collins.
Nico Collins.
I'm taking Nico Collins. I just don't think, realistically for me, Aiyuk sits in there with the Michael Pittman, Calvin Ridley, the T. Higgins spot. And I mean, you're at 22 to 23 million there. You really think he's that much better than those guys?
I think without him, that's a big hole to fill. That's just my opinion.
They drafted their guy though. Ricky Pearsall is going to be really fucking good, and he brings something to the table in that offense in the sense that he's white. We know they love white people.
That's true. The other thing, I feel like the haul that you could.
God. Go ahead.
President Baker reporting.
You're late as usual.
Happy to see you, Leon.
What if President Baker reported and made a house call? That's just my 2 cents.
That's not happening.
Why not get the haul for Aiyuk? Because they would get a haul.
I would. If I was them, I would ship him.
I agree with you. And here's the why not.
And there's a lot of takers out there for him that are going to give you
Supposedly,
substantial-
one team has told Aiyuk's camp. Not only are there a lot of takers, but one of the takers, piggybacking off of what you said, told Aiyuk's camp that they will pay him. They told Aiyuk's agent, if you can get a deal done, we will pay him what he's looking for, which is probably 30. That's my guess is 30.
Yeah.
But what do they have to give up to get it? That's the problem.
Well, if the 49ers lose leverage, it's not. I don't think it's a crazy amount. I think a high draft pick, a second round, maybe even a first round pick.
Yeah.
Maybe throw a prospect in there with some team control. You know, like a second year or first year player.
So what team
Why
do
it
you
won't
think would
happen?
be interested?
There's a couple teams that stand out. Obviously, the Commanders stand out because he played with Jaden Daniels in college and he's friends with them. I think Pittsburgh, which is a team that's major link to him, is a team that stands out. Buffalo stands out to me.
Buffalo.
Buffalo is desperate for some receivers.
I think you pair him with. Keon Coleman. That's pretty formidable. That's Josh Allen's best pass catching core he's ever had.
Yeah.
As far as betting goes right now, 49ers are 1. Commanders are 2. The Bills are 3rd.
Huh.
Where's Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh's 4th.
Yeah.
And then if you keep going down, you have the Chiefs at 5.
You got to look at these teams and see which of these teams have the collateral.
I don't think they'll trade him to the Chiefs. I don't think they'd trade him to the NFC, which would mean like the Lions in a hypothetical would be out. Any team in the division would be out. I don't think they'd trade him to the NFC, and I don't think they'd trade him to the Chiefs or the Ravens. That's my guess on that.
The Saints and the Colts are the 2 honorable.
You know where else he fits? Oh, Saints and Colts would be great. Both of those. Or maybe not the Saints. Colts would be great. You know where I think he'd be a great fit? The Chargers.
The Chargers were also talked about. They were not on that list.
Just going back to what you said, I want to move on from Aiyuk. The why they're not going to take the haul. This is it for them. this is it. They're running out of years of Brock Purdy. This is probably the last year they're going to have Brock Purdy on that cheap ass rookie deal. They're going to have to pay him next
I
summer.
thought you meant they were going to get rid of him.
No. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you chub a little bit over there. But I think this is they're
I
all
hope they
in.
keep Purdy.
They're all in for this year, and
Yeah.
and they've paid McCaffrey. They're going to have to pay Kittle eventually. They've paid Debo. They've already had issues with Debo, and I think that they have this control over these guys right now, and they're going to exert that control, and that's that. I think they feel that this is the last year that window is open for the way this team's set up. So they're going to stand pat. They have all the leverage. They have team control.
You want to know something? The 49ers for me right now, out of all of the teams that were at the top of the league last year,
Most likely to slump
some
off.
reason I'm sniffing the most regression there.
I mean, look what happened to the Eagles last year. It tends to happen to the team that went to the Super Bowl and lost.
Yeah.
You don't go to scratch the Patriots. Like the Patriots went to the Super Bowl, lost, and then they might make it back in that dynasty.
Well, but because they had a one-way ticket to the road every year.
Yeah.
That's why.
And Mahomes didn't.
The division was so weak at that
Mahomes
time.
did make it back, right? Oh no, because the Rams won the next year. So it's hard after you lose
Right.
the Super Bowl. There tends to be a hangover the next year. It happened to the Eagles last
I
year.
agree. I agree with
it
that.
happened the year before to the Bengals. It happens.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be easy for them to get back, and I think that they know that. I think they have good coaching, good management, and they know that, and they're trying to recreate the wheel, but it ain't easy, and they have a target on their back, and they need Brandon Aiyuk to survive that target on their back.
Should we keep talking about wide receivers?
Please.
So the wide receiver show on Netflix was the sequel to Quarterbacks from last year, essentially. And the guys that were on there were Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra, and my mind's slipping on the third.
Devontae Adams, and then both George Kittle and Debo were on there as well.
Interesting they had a tight end on receivers.
Yeah, I mean he catches passes,
Um,
and he's good. We knew Kittle would be good, but
So I'm guessing you watched the entire thing.
yeah. So I only have half of the last episode left, which is the Super Bowl. It ends the the first half of the last episode is Lions Niners. Relived that, and then the second half was the Super Bowl, and I haven't seen the Super Bowl half. But I think the show's outstanding, and it's the best. It's a little. Someone said it perfectly. A little access. They're with these guys once a week, supposedly. They pick a day and they hang out with these guys once a week, and that's how they get their content. And then they're mic'd up for all the games. The guys are mic'd up for all the games. A little access goes so far, and it's such cool content. And I'm impressed. And I have a guy that I love. Just like last year, I thought Kirk Cousins was the star, and it made me fall in love with Kirk Cousins, which is saying a lot because he's a Spartan. I think this year I have a guy that I love who's been outstanding. But has anyone else watched? Have you watched it, Bruce?
I've watched pieces and parts. Does the guy that you love happen to wear Honolulu blue?
No.
Ooh.
No.
Is it Kittle?
It's Debo.
Whoa, I was not expecting that.
It's Debo. I think he's hilarious. I think he's like, he's not what I thought. I thought he'd be cocky and arrogant and
Right.
diva. He's not that. Everyone loves him. He's a good leader in the locker room. And I think
It's all for fucking show, dude. It's all for fucking show, dude.
Why? What makes you say that?
Because you know how that shit.
But see, you're doing the book cover judge right now.
It is what it is, dude. It's made for TV fucking entertainment, dude.
all right, well, I'm entertained.
That's what it is. Yeah.
What did you think of Amon-Ra coming off of it?
He's I listen to his podcast, so he's on the surface. What you see is what you get with that guy. He's a hard worker. He's very competitive. He's very smart. He's one of the most cerebral players in the league. It'll never be. You can't phase that guy.
What are you trying to say? He's not Chad Johnson?
No. Oh,
He's
fuck.
not Ocho Cinco?
Fuck no. He's really cerebral, and it's cool seeing his relationship with his mother and his relationship with his father are two totally different, separate, unique relationships. His father's, not only his father but his coach, and that's who got him to this point, and he overworked him and made sure the kids were all working out like crazy. And then his relationship with his mother's education, like he went to USC, it's a good school. His middle brother went to Notre Dame, his oldest brother went to Stanford. His mother made sure they were speaking German at a young age. He was talking about how he was always in all the honors classes in high school, and he was the nerd. And it shows. Like, I think his knowledge in real life reflects to how knowledgeable he is on the field, and it applies to the game prep. Like, out of all 5 of the guys on the show, listening to him break down plays and listening to him break down prep and film and his mismatches, it's the most enticing. Kittle's good at it too, but listening to him talk about his position, like, I want to learn, and I felt like I was learning when Amon-Ra talked. But what you see is what you get with him. Like, he's that guy that you see in interviews. He was that guy on the show. A little robotic, but hey, we're lucky to have him. I think he's one of the best receivers in the league.
Have you watched yet or no?
No.
Have you watched Hard Knocks yet?
Nope.
With the Giants? You have not.
You would love Giants Hard Knocks. It is very, very good, and it's unprecedented access. Last night's episode was outstanding. It was free agency and how they dealt with everything, and it was so cool and so impressive. And I think they were holding a little bit back, but it was showing the negotiations with how they landed John Runyon, how they lost Saquon, I think was key. It was incredible.
Will you break that down for us?
Yeah, so what they did was, in the episode before, it ended with him calling Saquon and saying, hey, the plan right now, which is what they wanted to happen last year. He goes, I think that what makes the most sense is we're going to let you go to market. We want to see what you can get. And he goes, just tell me what you're getting offered, and I will match it. And I will have you here for 10 years. We'll put you in the Ring of Honor, and it'll work. And Saquon, you can tell in the phone, he looked like a dick. In the phone call, Saquon sounded kind of reluctant. He's like, yeah, you know what I want, and like, I appreciate you, and sounds good. So the episode's playing out, and obviously there's that 72-hour window before free agency officially starts where guys can talk to teams. And he talks to Saquon's agent, and he goes, we have an offer for 3 years, 12 and a half per, and it's like $25 million guaranteed. And Joe Shane, the Giants GM's like, okay, done. I'll do that right now if that's the case. And you can't hear his agent on the phone, which I'm sure was a prerequisite for the phone call. And apparently he calls John Mara, Joe Shane, the GM, calls John Mara, the owner of the team, in afterward to recap the call. And apparently his agent's hemming and hawing and saying, And obviously Saquon ended up getting a ton more of that and than that. And I think the Giants played it perfectly. I think letting him walk was a great idea because they were able to spend on their offensive line.
Come on, listen. I still think he's better from the last time.
For sure.
And deservedly so, being better.
Mm-hmm.
If you're supposed to be the bell cow of a team and they fuck you around, that shit don't disappear.
Yeah, but if the injuries are what comes up with Saquon.
Yeah, but you know
I mean,
what?
that's 20.
He was beyond that. It was beyond that. And they lost faith in him. And that's what it is. Hey, is what it is. And he moved on. For him, he's in a better place. I mean, let's not fuck around with that. I mean, any back in the league would rather run behind Philadelphia's line than the fucking Giants line. I think anybody in the league would.
So I want to hear your thoughts, but just real quick, I agree. I think he was dicked around, and I think that stood out to him.
And a lot of reason why he didn't
But
resign.
you cannot deny the statistics on the regression of running backs when they hit 27. I think he's good this year. I think the Eagles have a nice bounce back year, and I think he has a monster year, but I think towards the end of that contract with the money that he got, it's just going to slope off just because history tells us that's what happens.
Here's one good thing about backs that get banged up early in their career. The pounding that they take, because they do take a pounding. The pounding they take, if you got a year off, it rejuvenates your body. It really does. You know, and if you're over there and all you're doing is rehabbing and getting yourself healthy and you're finally healthy, these guys got to learn how to run too and protect themselves. This is the biggest problem that young backs have, is they don't know how to protect themselves. And that's why you see them rash of injuries early on in careers. Le'Veon Bell. Who was the kid that went to the Raiders? Josh Jacobs. You know, you get banged up, and then it's hard to get back into that, and then you get back in, and you don't get time off. They don't get a lot of time off. What do they get? A couple months,
I mean,
maybe.
if you're in the playoffs, then you get
Right.
February, March, April, May, June. 5
Right.
months. 5 months.
But I mean, there's still.
I'm going to be
out.
honest with you, yes, but I'm in full agreement. The whole running back situation, I mean, outside of a very select handful of guys, who would you be willing to pay long-term big money to at the running back position?
Who would I?
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs.
Younger Saquon.
Yeah, Saquon 3 or 4 years ago, yes.
That's it.
I mean,
What is he? 26.
it's 27.
I think he's 27. Yeah.
27, dude. He's still got at least 4 more good years in him.
The statistics
least
show that
4.
he does not, though. The statistics show that there's
how
a
old is
regression.
Ezekiel Elliott.
I don't think he's good, however old he is.
How old is he?
He's probably my age, 31, 32, somewhere in there.
I will find
I don't know about that. I think he might be a little older than that.
28.
28,
He's only 28.
and that guy's nearly
You got to remember, he fell off at 26.
he's
That was
nearly
it.
out of the league. He's nearly out of the league
Yeah.
at 28.
I mean, look at
and that's
Todd
not
Gurley.
health. That's
Look at
not
Todd
health. for
Gurley.
Yeah, but
Saquon.
Todd Gurley, you can't count Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley was
Coming out of college, he was injured.
yes, but he was the best of the best for 2 or 3 years.
Do you know he's
Yeah.
still top 10 in yards over the last decade?
Ain't
And
that
he hasn't
crazy,
played in like
dude?
7 years
He
or
hasn't
And he
something.
hasn't
played in
played
a
in
long
that
time.
long.
Like
Much of a time.
realistically, if you're asking me, outside of McCaffrey,
There you go.
yes, but
Look at his
McCaffrey's
first 3 years in the
hold on,
league, dude.
McCaffrey's the
Hurt,
outlier.
hurt.
McCaffrey's the
He's
outlier.
hurt every year. It's not
he's
just
hurt
the first.
every
He's
year.
hurt
and
every
he
year.
plays through it, and somehow he continues.
I don't
to do
think
it.
he's the out. I think at some point he's gonna, just because that's what happens. I think anyone that comes out of the backfield, there's gonna be a drop off eventually. Like the numbers are there. That's why when
You know
we
what
had this,
saves McCaffrey is he can catch the football.
yeah, but
Just like Austin Eckler. What saves Eckler?
Yeah,
it,
but look
it
at
buys
Austin,
him.
he can
It
catch
buys
the
him what, a year or two because he's catching the football. I agree with you. It takes
Saves your career.
if it takes snaps out of the backfield. But we had this conversation a year ago. There was a running back summit. All the running backs got on a FaceTime call and talked about why they weren't getting paid. There's just not a premium on that position anymore because you can go get a guy that's young, plug him in, you get the best usage out of him, and if he wants more money, he walks. Then you go replace
the
him again.
Baltimore Ravens didn't do that.
With who?
They didn't do that.
Oh, they're running back.
Talk
went
about
to a
your
30-year-old
outlier.
running
The,
back.
the outlier, the exception to the rule, is Derrick Henry because
Yeah.
because he's never, if he's injured, it's once or twice a year. He's never had that major injury, and he's the between the tackles
He's
fiend.
30.
He survives between the field. He's
I
the only
cannot
exception.
Wait to see him this year.
Should be exciting.
I cannot wait to see him in that offense this year.
Like, okay, for example, take a guy like you just said, Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
He's 29.
Yep.
He's making $4 million a year
Yeah,
with the Commanders. Coming off of the worst year of his career.
not totally his fault either.
No, but still. There's
that
no,
team was such a dumpster fire down the stretch. It was ugly.
listen, as soon as these guys hit that number of 26,
Yeah.
the value's gone. The value's gone.
I just can't wait to see my boy David Montgomery this year. I'm excited to see what he does.
So did they touch base at all on the Waller retirement?
No, because Waller retired a few weeks back, and they're not into June yet. The other thing that they
What's
did
the
well,
story, dude? Why
He's
did he just
retiring.
up and quit? Was he getting high again?
I think he's got a lot going on. He broke up with his wife.
Yeah,
He
was
got
he getting high
divorced.
again?
Kelsey Plum, maybe,
Yeah,
maybe.
he fell off the boat.
No, they haven't touched on Waller. What they did do is they went something the Lions do that I love is they'll do the inside the den from the draft, and they'll show the meetings with. They record all their prospect meetings, and they use that tape later. It did that with the Giants, and you could see them meet. They met with Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy, Drake May, and you could watch all 4 of those guys break down plays. They met with Odunze. Obviously, they drafted Neighbors, and I think they met with Marvin Harrison in there. And it was cool watching that for the Giants.
Yeah.
Like you get to watch their. Oh man,
Agreed. They got the most athletic guy in the draft.
Dable. Real quick, I'll answer that question after. Dable, the way he interviews quarterbacks was the coolest fucking thing. Brian Dable is the one drilling the quarterbacks, and he he's making them go back and remember play. Like he's calling back to them and like, tell me about this. It's really cool to see. And supposedly it should be next week. We get to be in their war room for the entirety of the draft, which of course, like we've seen clips here and there, but like I'm excited to see them run the draft. Like I'm excited to see the calls that they get, whatever. And we get that next week. It's really good behind the scenes access from like how to run a team. I thought I wouldn't like this or I'd be bored with it. I'm not. It's not boring. It's a lot of fun. I don't think Malik Neighbors is more athletic than Marvin Harrison. I think Marvin Harrison is still the best of that crop. But I'm getting more excited about Neighbors as I watch them. And I think that that's a good fit, and I think that that's exactly what they need.
He's so fucking explosive.
Yeah.
I mean, God. That's one thing, watching tape on him, my God.
And what they were shocked about is how
You know what he reminded me of? Jameson Williams.
they were like
Yeah,
the way they go, the way he plays the position. He plays the position violently. He blocks hard. He runs hard. He cuts hard. He jumps hard. He's really athletic. He plays violently, and they go. We're shocked at how like subtle he comes off, considering how violent he is on the field. Like they were shocked at his personality, how soft it is. But it's good. I highly, highly, highly recommend. Wide receiver's good. This is great, and it's short. It's only going to be 4 or 5 episodes. I think you guys should both watch this show.
And so then the Bears are on next, right? They're going to be
The
training
Bears
camp,
have the training
normal
camp
week.
hardcocks. Yes.
Okay. So honest to God, I'm looking.
I can't
forward
wait to see that.
Yeah, I know.
See what
I mean.
dumpster
I'm looking
fire that's
forward to
gonna
that
be.
because I agree with you. I think it's gonna be noisy.
Yeah.
I think there's gonna be a few noisy training
Yeah.
camps this year, but I think that one's gonna be really noisy. Last touch on the wide receiver stuff here. There's a lot of stuff swirling around this week about Devontae Adams and the possibility for him being traded. His agent came out yesterday and said that the baseless, unfound speculation is all that was being said, and Devontae is expected to be with the Raiders, as there has been absolutely no trade talk. So he came out and spoke.
Okay, I completely forgot about this plot point because we didn't go in depth on wide receiver, but everything that we knew was going on with Devontae Adams through the year was going on.
He hated it.
He hated it, and he was open about it, and he implied like, yeah, Josh McDaniels deserved to be fired. I think if there's a whiff of what happened last year, I think if there's a whiff of what happened in 2023 and it happens again in 2024, it's not making it to the trade deadline. That's my 2 cents. I genuinely believe he likes where it's going, and he thinks he wants to be there. But like how much, I know you trust Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. It's a matter of how much. You could tell he was pissed at the quarterbacks. He was pissed at the play calling. A lot needs to happen for it to make sense there. And I think if it doesn't make sense for him, he's got this timer in his head, and people are all hung up. Oh, he's going to end up with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. No, but I think he's going to end up somewhere else. I think he gets traded if it's bad this year.
What would it take? What would the Jets have to give him?
I mean, a first, and it's not worth. I don't think it's worth it for the Jets. I don't think it's worth it to do that just to like the whole reuniting people with Rodgers.
I mean,
situation.
if you're all in, I mean, what is that really going to do for him?
I don't think they can afford him, and I think
I
they
don't
have
think they
good.
can
They
either.
have good pass catchers. As
They've
it is.
already given up picks just to get to
Who
Rodgers.
do they have? They have Mike Williams, right?
Yeah,
They still have
They have Mike Williams, Garrett Wilson,
Garrett Wilson.
that's a nice little tandem. bro.
Alan Lazard, right?
Alan Lazard,
Yeah, those.
And
Jason Brownlee,
what about?
Xavier Gibson.
Hold on, where's the ghost?
He retired.
Randall
Ghost retired?
Randall Cobb retired.
God bless the ghost.
I could still see a situation where he ends up on the Jets before the season.
So
If the Jets are playoff contenders,
the problem is he's under contract. It's got to be a team that could afford to take him on, or a team that's building towards something that need like a young quarterback that needs a receiver, because they don't have the room with Aaron Rodgers. They have all these guys that they have to pay. They have all these guys they're already paying. They have all these guys under contract,
You know
and the
where he would
Rodgers
look
window
nice?
is small. I don't think Rodgers is going to play like Brady. I think he's going to give it a
You know
go.
where Devontae Adams would look good?
Washington.
Right here in Detroit.
Yeah.
That
100%.
fucking dream for him.
100%.
the Jets right now have $6 million in cap space.
Yeah, so you have to move some shit around to make it happen.
Yeah.
I don't think they can afford you. I've thought about
Detroit can
Dante.
afford him right now.
I've thought about Devontae Adams to Detroit. It makes a ton of sense. It's going to throw off some things, but like again, if things work out this year in a way where the Lions, that's the missing piece. I've talked about it. They need a wide receiver, and things aren't working out at the deadline for Devontae Adams or Max Crosby. Yeah. Make a play for one of those guys.
Crosby's under contract for what, 2 more years?
They're both under contract for, I think, 2 or 3 years.
Realistically, if you're the Jets, though, okay, if you're the Jets, how much time do you? The clock is. I mean, the doomsday
you
clock
got Rodgers
for the Jets
for this year.
The doomsday clock for the Jets is at 11:55.
Let's say they're successful. They make it deep. I
think they need one.
Do you
more
think
piece.
Rodgers comes back for one more year?
I think no matter what, unless he has another catastrophic injury, I think no matter what, it's this year and next year. I think they're going to get 2 years out of him.
I do too.
I think they draft a quarterback next year. I think that they draft his replacement
And
next year.
I don't. You put Adams on that team, they're fucking dangerous.
You said the same.
It won't
shit
happen now. It won't happen now, and it won't happen during the season. It would have to happen in the upcoming offseason. And
Or maybe before
they'd have to
deadline.
forego all these guys. Like Sauce Gardner's going to get his deal next year.
Yeah.
Like there's so many Garrett Wilson, same drill. They're going to be entering their 3rd years now.
Right.
Or entering in their 4th years next year. That's when you get your rookie extension. So you got to get really fucking creative to make it happen. And I just don't see that happening. I think they draft a receiver before they do that. I don't think that's what's going to unlock Aaron Rodgers or not, too. Because I saw him play without Devontae Adams and he was good. I saw him without I don't think that makes a difference one way or another. I don't buy the Packers narrative. I don't buy it. And it would be great. I just think that Devontae Adams fits in at a lot of other places. I think he makes sense in a few other stops.
Yeah.
Moving on.
If he goes to KC, look out, dude. That would be fucking stupid.
Do you want to start with Calvin Johnson, or would you like to start with money?
No, just work your way down and eliminate as we go. We don't have to go in depth on anything else.
The NFL released their per team revenues.
So not necessarily. This is private information, but there's one team that is held by shareholders.
The Green Bay Packers.
And because all of their financials have to come out in reports, it came out in the Packers report that their revenue their cut of the pie last year was $402.3 million, which means the other 31 teams got the same. And that means the cumulative total this year for 2023 was about $13 billion, which is $1 billion more than last year. So the NFL is year over year is up $1 billion. There's no fucking bigger industry in sports than the National Football League.
$13 billion a year revenue? Fuck.
Yeah. And side note, one of the things the NFL does well is this. There's, other than the Dallas Cowboys, there's an equal share of merchandise and there's an equal share of the TV rights. They all split the TV rights evenly. And the NBA just signed their big deal 2 weeks ago, and they pivoted to this model. And the NBA does a horrible job of marketing certain teams and stars. And now they think the NBA is going to trend towards this because they're pivoting to what the NFL is doing, which is genius. You give every team a cut of the revenue, and that's how smaller markets grow. It's how the Lions have turned into what they are, because all these teams are on TV now. Of course, we get saddled with shitty Thursday night football games, but we're watching.
Right.
We're watching.
Everybody's watching every week. Every game.
At least he ain't fucking blacked out anymore.
Yeah, like the Tigers.
All them fucking years at the Silverdome, they'd be blacked out every fucking week.
Can you believe the fact that you've got to go up north to watch the Tigers?
That's so stupid.
You can watch them. You just can't have Xfinity and watch them.
Yeah, if you have Comcast, you can't watch the fucking.
And I have Xfinity, so I can't watch them.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
So stupid.
If that run, I wrote a blog post about that.
Yes, on www.tipballs.com underneath our tip thoughts page.
There's I have a hard time believing that runs into hockey season for Detroit.
Could you imagine that?
And this is a whole, did I talk about this last time? But this is a whole separate conversation. But one of the things that it stopped me if I said this last time. One of the things that Arn Tellem was brought in to do, Arn Tellem is the Pistons VP of basketball operations. He was Kobe's agent, and he's the direct liaison between the team and Tom Gores. One of the things he was brought in to do, 2 things: move the Pistons downtown, which he did successfully. It's been great. Number 2 was they were supposed to look into starting a regional sports network. Denver has one. Yes, the Yankees' revenue, they make $1 billion every year off of owning their own TV rights. MSG has one, so the Rangers and Islanders. Boston has one, and Nesson. There's markets that have them, and we should have one. It would make total sense with Michigan and Michigan State, and then you throw in the 3 teams locally, and you throw in good Lions content. You throw really high-quality Lions content on there and make a ton of sense. We don't have a regional sports network, and we're stuck with fucking Bally, which is a disaster, and yeah, sorry.
What would it take?
use the
for
word
that
Hindsight's
to happen?
2020.
What would it take for that to happen?
Money, and
Lots of
here's the
money.
problem: almost all of those the regional the teams that do have regional networks and cities that have them that I named, they're still aligned with Bally in some capacity, but they would be in control of the negotiations for their app. Buy our app. The Arizona area, Phoenix, Arizona, just switched with the Suns. They switched to this model where they're putting all of their games, they're taking them off TV, putting them all on a streaming service, but it's free. So they're controlling all the ads and the ad revenue. And that would make tons of sense around here. And I think that they should find a way to do it. I know the NHL and MLB are intervening with this Bally Sports thing, and they're trying to get everything on Amazon. They're trying to get as much as possible on Amazon. But it might take a second to do
It's
that.
so fucking stupid. I hate all of it. I hate
Yeah.
all of it.
Just
I hate the point
stream
that
it on the
fact
web,
that
man.
you'd have to stream something or if you can't watch a fucking game on regular TV that you're already paying for cable, for God fucking sakes. You're already paying for that. Now you got to pay for a fucking channel too? Fuck out.
Well, I was
the
reading.
fuck outta here.
I was reading something the other day, and it's if you want to watch every single NFL game this year, right? Because now there's games on Amazon.
Ridiculous.
The Friday night Peacock. It would cost, I believe the number was between $600 and $800 to have all of the streaming services for a year to watch every single NFL game. That's
And do yourself a favor, just get Red Zone and forget about it.
well, Red Zone doesn't have your Thursday night games
It doesn't matter.
on Amazon.
Who cares?
Somebody cares. Those Thursday night games on Amazon. Which games on Netflix this year?
The
Christmas Day games are Netflix, aren't they?
The Christmas games
That's
are
ridiculous.
Netflix.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. Bullshit.
Everyone, Netflix is either you have to check it. I think it's the first most popular streaming service. Do you have Netflix at home? Your girls have
My
Netflix.
daughter's got it.
Yeah, exactly. So you have access to it. And side note, the WWE just pivoted for starting January 1st. No, but they're putting all of Monday Night Raw is going to Netflix starting in January, and this is why the NFL's doing it. It goes to 80 countries. They're going if you're on Netflix, you're more seen than anything at this point because Netflix is everywhere. So it makes a ton of sense for the NFL to be on Netflix.
So the Eagles, the Brazil game, the Eagles game will be on Peacock.
On the cock.
Will be on Peacock, and then Amazon gets all the Thursday night games. Netflix gets all the Christmas Day games, and then ESPN Plus will carry 25 games this year. And then if you want Sunday Ticket, that's another $449.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, $519.92. If you don't have YouTube TV, if you do have YouTube TV, it's $520. If you don't have YouTube TV, $860 a year to watch every game.
That sucks.
Calvin Johnson, longtime Lions receiver, probably top 2 all time, top 2,
He's
top
like
3.
a top 2 receiver of all
That's
time.
what I'm saying. Top 2 or 3 receiver of all time. Do you contest that or no?
No.
Okay. So when he retired, we weren't on the best of terms with him. The Detroit Lions as an organization were not on the best of terms with him. But things seem to have come full circle because the Lions announced that he is going to be in the Ring of Honor, and his name will go up into the suite section at Ford Field against the Seahawks this year on Monday Night Football. How did the Lions rekindle this relationship and bring it back up from the dead? Because seemingly it was dead.
They did the same thing with Sanders.
So yeah, same thing happened with Barry Sanders. I think the same situation too.
Yeah, it
with
was about money.
With Calvin, they asked for his signing bonus back, which you're not supposed to do that. So, for example, Andrew Luck signed a massive deal, and Jim Irsay let him keep all like $60 million.
Yeah, he never asked him for his
and never
fucking
asked for the money back.
Yeah.
And the Lions did that. It's just a poorly run organization. It goes back to
At
Russ
that time.
Thomas.
At that
At
time.
that time, bad advisors, bad people.
Yes.
I think Bob Quinn had something to do with it by way of the Fords.
I still don't like the way he left.
Kelvin?
I didn't like what they pushed him out the fucking door.
Kelvin?
That was wrong. Yes.
How'd they push him out the door?
They pushed him out the door.
I don't think they did that.
Absolutely.
I think he retired because he was just fucking lionized. I think he was just sick of it.
He retired. He still had another year or two in him. I think
he should be playing right now. I think he had more than a year or two.
Yeah, I just think he retired early because he didn't want to go through the bullshit.
Well, yeah.
They weren't going to release him. They weren't going to trade him. And he knew that.
I don't think
that's
he asked,
why he just retired.
No, I don't think he asked for that because his wife, Brittany McNorton, her father used to play at Michigan State, something like that. She worked for the team. He met her through the team. So I think it was always like, it's like Barry, I'm not leaving. I'm not going to get traded. I'm only playing here. I'm either going to go out as a champion here or that's it. He couldn't get out of bed in the morning.
He had made a few statements right after he retired that he wanted to go elsewhere and they wouldn't allow him out of his contract. He had said that.
I'd have to
He
look
had
into
said that
further.
publicly.
I'd have to look
So
into
I
further.
still
heard
think
that,
I don't like
so
the way
that's
that went down, and that was part of the bitterness, and that's why they asked for that money back.
So, I mean, the guy, going back to what you said, the guy that repaired the damage is this guy that they hired a few years back named Mike Dissner, who's the most unsung hero in the front office. He's very heralded, Mike Dissner. And he's the one that's personally, like, he gets a lot of the business decisions right. He's the one that's personally overseen the relationship being repaired with Kelvin to the point where Mike Dissner was the one reading at DGC the other day. Mike Dissner was the one that told Kelvin that we're putting him back up because I don't think Kelvin likes Rod Wood. I think he's okay with the Fords. And, of course, he loves Dan Campbell. He played with Dan Campbell. So Mike Dissner is the one that's done. He's done a lot behind the scenes. I'd have to get a list of all of the credit they've given to Mike Dissner because he's done a lot behind the scenes that's made a ton of sense, and we have him to thank for repairing the relationship with Calvin, which is good. It's a good relationship now.
We have a piece of breaking news that just came out. It's not football related, and I don't want to completely throw this off the rails here, and I guess there's a chance that it could. But Joe Biden has canceled all. He had a speech planned for later on in Las Vegas. He has canceled that because this afternoon he tested positive for COVID-19. So I don't want us to go off the rails here.
Y'all go get your shots and your flu shots and all that stuff.
Anyways, moving on. Cam Sutton, former Detroit Lion, he signed with the Steelers.
R.I.P. Cam Sutton.
He's still alive.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he signed with the Steelers, but he will be suspended for the first 8 games of the season for running from the cops like OJ did without
Pleading
killing
and
anybody. Yeah. And then Jamal Adams signed with the Titans.
Interesting.
I had the same thought on that. That one's kind of interesting.
They needed help at safety, so
I don't really hate that.
no, I don't either.
I don't hate that. But the Cam Sutton thing, I think everybody expected him to end up there. So
Yeah, well.
Mike Tomlin,
The only one who likes him is Mike Tomlin. He's lucky.
well,
He's
shockingly
lucky.
enough, Mike Tomlin also signed a 3-year extension with the Steelers, which I believe will make. I think he's already the longest tenured head coach in the league. Correct?
It's him
I
or
believe
Harbaugh.
him
It's
and John
or-
Harbaugh.
John
Him or
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh are a year apart, so he's not going anywhere. He's the quintessential Steelers coach. He is.
Purgatory.
Yeah, 10 wins. 9-10 wins a year, forever. Jacksonville.
Lovie Smith got fired doing the same thing. Go ahead.
Jacksonville. They've gotten approval for a stadium renovations
Okay.
in the city of Jacksonville. $775 million in public funds, $625 million from the organization. They're
So
unveiling.
the public is putting up more money than the Jaguars are.
Yeah,
Usually how it
that's
goes.
usually how.
That's
they
why
just-
I put this
And they
in
just
there.
they just got how much revenue?
Half
Fucking
that.
yeah.
Half that. They could
Yeah.
cover this renovation in 3 years if they wanted to. With the
Right.
revenue, probably pending the inflation, maybe less.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting one. But I mean, I feel like Jackson. That's actually kind of surprising to me because we all thought for sure.
I thought for sure they're going to be the first team out.
Yeah, we all thought for sure if there was going to be the European expansion, they would do this, and I don't think they would invest the $625 million that they are investing.
I still think it's going to happen.
Their stadium, the renovation, the renderings look really fucking cool.
Oh, the stadium looks incredible.
They're going to put a roof on it to attract more events. But so Shad Khan owns Flexingate. You know Flexingate? Amongst a lot of other things. He was in software. They own AEW, the wrestling promotion, but he owns a lot of stuff. And I know this guy is worth billions of dollars.
Doesn't he live in London for most of the year?
Yes.
I thought he lives in the United States. I thought he lives in South Florida in Illinois. He's very close. He went to the University of Illinois, so he's very tied to the University of Illinois. Regardless, he has a lot of money, and I think he could easily privately finance this if he wanted to, and he's just not doing it. And it's just that I think certain cities, it's that age-old adage, certain cities do need to publicly finance things, but I think certain owners do not. And I think it's a shame that cities are still paying it. Like, history shows that the cities are undefeated in losing money on this. The taxpayers are undefeated in losing money on stadium plans. And I think it's a joke that it's still happening. I just wanted to have that conversation, but whatever. I mean, it's got away with it.
Yeah, I was wrong. He lives in Naples.
Naples.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not too far from you.
The trade deadline. Speaking of Joe Biden, the trade deadline falls on November 5th this year, which is election day. So we might need to do like a 12-hour live stream that day. One TV with the news, one TV, ESPN. Just let it roll all day long. We might need to do that.
I don't know. I think that as it currently stands on the one
On election days, I'm a warrior. I watch TV till it's done.
I don't think anything uneventful is
turn
going
it
to
off.
happen, or anything eventful is going to happen that
All
day.
night.
No, nothing.
All
now.
night.
Gonna be
Just in case the
Not
voting
unless
machine
the Democrats
stops.
switch their candidate out, and I don't think they're going to do that. So
Yeah.
Well, he does now have COVID-19. Let the conspiracy theories start flying. In jumping back to the Jacksonville thing for a minute, the Chargers have opened a new facility, not a new stadium, but a new facility called the Bolt. I don't know where El Segundo is.
it's Manhattan Beach. It's across the 405 from SoFi Stadium.
Okay.
So
what?
it's
Like a half-hour row, if that,
a half hour from where?
from the stadium.
No, it's literally like
Across
if
the
you go
street.
down Sepulveda Boulevard, it's there.
Okay.
It's a 5-minute drive. I put this on there because I want to link to this on the Tip Balls website or on the socials. They posted like a 5-minute tour of the Bolt on YouTube, and it looks so fucking cool. And it's got like its own Wolfgang Puck style restaurant for the players that he curated the menu. It's really, really cool. They have three outdoor fields, real turf, not synthetic. Their gym is the best one in the league, and it opens up so they can let in fresh air. They have a really cool locker room, incredible. It's cool. It's like a college football style practice facility. And this is the trend. I know the Lions are looking into this. They're looking into moving out of Allen Park. It's either going to be downtown somewhere or it's going to be like Plymouth, Novi, Northville. The Lions are looking into this, and like having a cool practice facility is the new deal. And even adding like spectator seats, like adding like 5,000 to 10,000 seats, like Dallas has. The Colts have a cool training camp set up apparently. So this is the future, and look to more teams doing this in the future.
So that has nothing to do with the Rams. That is strictly for the Chargers.
No, because the Rams just opened theirs up as well. The Rams, it's either opening or half open, but theirs is north. They're in like Thousand Oaks or something like that. So they're a lot more north. But
Yeah,
the Chargers
in Irvine, California.
Yeah, so but their practice facility is not their stadium is. The Cowboys moved to the Star, which I don't remember where it is. It's not in Irvine though. It's in maybe Frisco. It's in Frisco, Texas. Okay. And it's not like it's all in the general region, but the Star is a venue. It's 20,000 seats, their practice facility, and there's high school football games, and the Cowboys corporate offices are there, which that's a massive corporate
plenty
office.
of places they could do this at.
You're talking about the Lions?
Yeah.
They're looking into they've narrowed it down from what I understand to downtown which would be fucking awesome if they put like
That's what they should.
a sick facility downtown, and then the west side somewhere.
They got a lot of room downtown. Tear down some of that shithole that's there
Yeah.
and put it in there.
You want to know what they should do? They should repurpose the Edsel and Eleanor Ford House as the training facility.
There you go.
That'd be perfect.
When I was a kid,
One Lions Way on Jefferson.
When I was a kid, I had this dream of them putting the next stadium in that big patch of land across from the Ford House.
Yeah.
That's where the stadium should be in Grosse Pointe.
Should be.
The family still doesn't have any rights to that anymore, I don't think.
I don't-
No, I
sold
don't.
it,
I don't
no?
think so.
I think they
It's,
gave it to the city.
I don't.
They did. You
It's,
donated it?
so it's weird. We'd have to look into it, but no, I don't even think the city owns it. That land is technically Macomb County.
Yeah.
It's Lake Township, which is it's Grosse Pointe jurisdiction, but it's Macomb County in county.
So it's just a cluster.
And same with the Woods Park. The Woods Park sits in. It's actually
St. Clair
it's in
Shores.
St. Clair Shores.
Joe Burrow came out with an idea for a new schedule on Pardon My Take the other day, and it was there should be 18 games with 2 byes, one of which being Week 13, which everybody has off for the Pro Bowl. No preseason, and the Super Bowl falls on the Sunday before President's Day. Now, I know that the NFL is still trying to expand the schedule, and I think that if they ever do add more games to the schedule, they're going to have to go to 2 bye weeks. What do you guys think about this? I agree. If you're,
I
the
don't mind-
preseason
I
should
don't
be
mind
no
the
more
2
than 1
byes.
week. The preseason should be 1 week. Preseason should be a week long.
No, there shouldn't be a preseason.
You think it should be gone
Away with
altogether?
it. Let them
You
do
go-
their joint practices.
You go first.
Do away with the preseason.
Yeah.
Let them do their joint practices against other teams. Let them. That's their training camp.
Yep.
And then week fucking 1, we just go. Fuck the preseason. It's go time.
If the Lions could, they would run 3 joint practices with 3 different teams.
Yeah.
They're pissed this year. They're only getting 1. They're getting one with the Giants.
Right.
So if the Lions could, they would constantly be running joint practices.
Yeah.
And I agree 100%.
I think they should do that during
for
their
2
training
reasons.
camp.
For 2 reasons. Number one, we're starting to see more and more that starters are sitting out in the preseason. It's no
Yeah,
longer
nobody plays.
there's 4 games, the third game's a dress rehearsal. No one is playing anymore.
Yeah, fuck
Because they're getting those reps in. They think there's more meaningful reps in when they're doing the joint practices.
Correct.
So I think that's the trend. I think they're going to eliminate. I think this is going to happen.
They should.
I think they're going to eliminate because
Yeah.
Roger Goodell's talked about this. Oh, we're going to go to 18 games, and the Super Bowl is going to be the Sunday, the day before
That's-
President's Day. and
How
everyone
many
will be-
more fucking billions they're going to pull down next
Yeah.
year?
Now, where it comes in with Burrow is, I agree with this. You eliminate the preseason. The players aren't going to go to 18 games unless they get these 2 wishes, which is number
Right.
1, no preseason. Number 1, we need 2 bye weeks.
And I
don't
agree
think
with
that- I
that.
agree.
I agree with them.
Yeah, I think they're going to get their wish too. I think that's
what
ultimately
I
what
didn't
ends up happening.
understand was
The Pro Bowl.
week 13, everyone off for the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, so it's strategic. The buy is strategic, so no one has a competitive advantage on where that buy is.
Okay.
Because so think about it. In the first 8 weeks, you get a buy. First 2 months of the year, there's a
So
buy.
you're going to
somewhere
have
in
the
there.
Pro Bowl week 13.
Yeah, and it
Instead of
will,
at the end of the
and
season.
it was he brought up this genius idea. He's like, it's mid-season, everyone's looking for football, and everyone's gonna want to watch the fucking Pro Bowl.
That's
and
true.
you make everyone go. They have no excuse to go. They have the week off. You
Right.
put it somewhere nice.
Every other league
and everyone's
does it.
gonna want to watch the fucking Pro Bowl if it's mid-season because they're still fiending for football at that point in time. Whereas
Right.
when it's the week before the Super Bowl or the week after the Super Bowl, whatever, no one was
Yeah,
watching.
but they need to get rid of the antics that they do at the Pro Bowl because that's an utter fucking garbage fucking dumpster fire. Get rid of that and actually have a fucking game.
I don't think they could, especially if it's mid-season. I don't think
I
they
don't
could
want to
have
see
a
a
hitting
two-hand
Pro
touch
Bowl.
fucking Pro Bowl.
I don't think we'll ever see Sean Taylor destroying the punter ever.
That
again.
is so much bullshit. That two-hand touch flag football bullshit they were doing. You know what? Just make it. You know what? Make it Pride Week.
So we're all in agreement. On
I'm
this.
in agreement with that because every other fucking professional league has their all-star break in the middle of the fucking season. Baseball is still going on right now.
There's 162 fucking games in baseball. That's why.
Yeah, and guess what? There's no contact.
There's 88 fucking games in the NBA.
No
88
contact.
games in hockey. Am I correct on that or no? 88
There's
games in hockey?
82, but hockey's going to go
82?
up because they have 32 teams and they're looking to expand. So hockey's going to
Okay.
go up in games. It's 82 though.
Yeah, but I think that's a great idea. Do you want to touch on this class action lawsuit real quick?
It goes back to what we were talking about in the revenue, and we were
all
talking
of
about the streaming rights.
Streaming services?
So the NFL was ordered to pay $4 billion to Sunday Ticket subscribers because they were playing out-of-market games on Sunday Ticket, and then they were inflating the price, and they lost the class action lawsuit in California. So they owe anyone who owns Sunday Ticket between 2011 and 2022, if you opt in, you get a cut of $4 billion. And
Everybody will get sick.
I think it's a few thousand. No. You should be able to recoup like the price of what you paid for Sunday Ticket for a year or two. So you should get a couple $100.
Basically, they just give you your money back.
Personally, it's usually only DirecTV people. I don't think a lot of people had Sunday Ticket
not DirecTV.
because at that point in time, that was peak Red Zone, and people pivoted from Sunday Ticket to get
Correct.
Red Zone.
Right.
Yeah, because Sunday Ticket was dog shit. I
Well,
had that one year. It was-
Sunday Ticket, if you have YouTube TV, I think they give you Sunday Ticket.
They do.
I didn't have.
Yeah, so I have Sunday Ticket, but I
I
still
paid
watch
for
Red
it
Zone.
one time, and
Yeah.
I'll never do that again.
I still watch Red Zone. We got to give an RIP shout out to Jacoby Jones and Kyrie Jackson. Gone way too soon. Both, all bullshit aside, it was tragic
What?
that happened.
What happened?
They both passed away.
Yeah, would Jacoby Jones have a heart attack?
I didn't read
What
what,
happened?
actually happened.
I don't know.
I think he was 40.
I think he tragically passed away
yeah.
at 40.
Yeah, 40 years old. And then Kyrie Jackson's rookie. Car accident.
Car accidents, man.
Terrible.
Listen, speed kills.
Speed
Speed
kills.
fucking kills, dude.
Oh, and we missed it. God, I hate to pivot from that into this, but Jordan Addison got arrested for DUI this week.
Oh, my fault for missing
No
that.
worries.
And didn't he have an issue during the season too? Didn't he?
Yeah, he had
His
some-
dog. He was
Yeah.
he was speeding for his dog. It's clearly he was just speeding to speed.
Correct.
He drives too fucking fast. Slow down.
But RIP to
Slow
both
down.
of them. Gone way too soon. And by this time next week, all rookies will have reported for
No.
trading.
No. All rookies and vets. The last vets report the 24th.
You're right. The 24th.
Okay.
The rookies are already like Houston's full. Houston has rookies and vets.
Well,
a lot of rookies
them
have
did
reported.
it on the same day this year. I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, it's like three. It's like three or
There's
four
nothing
days.
Wrong with that.
Baltimore
All these guys
reported
the
on like
phone.
last Friday or some shit.
Yeah.
Baltimore was really early.
You'll see.
The teams that start early can go early. So Baltimore's week, they're the first game, so they could do it. The Bears and who do the Bears play in the Hall of Fame game? They can go early because
Well,
of the Hall of Fame
Baltimore-
game.
Who's it? Baltimore and Green Bay, or Green Bay and who's in that? Who's in that game?
That's the Friday game. Green Bay and Philly, and then
they're allowed
Baltimore
to
and
go.
Kansas City. Yeah, but everyone's always within this week,
Yeah.
and it's usually the rookies the first 3 days. So like the Lions rookies will have reported, I think by the 21st, if I remember correctly, or
I
the
think
20th.
it's 21 for the rookies.
Yeah,
23
and
for,
23
You
for
need
the
to get in
vets.
there. Get in that training camp. Start sweating.
Amen.
Hot out.
Amen. I think that's a good wrap up for now, right?
That's a wrap.
That's not bad for an hour show. You like
That's
this
not
rundown?
bad. That was a lot of.
I
that
was
a-
so excited to produce this rundown.
good.
I'm
Nice job,
happy to be
Noah.
back.
It's like
This is
riding a
my
bike, isn't it?
my
Nice drive.
favorite part of doing
Nice
this
job.
is figuring out the content that we're going to
Bruce is
generate.
running
that
out the
day.
door right now because
Bruce has a tea time he's got to get to.
time. He's gonna get his balls washed.
I think we need to talk a little bit more if that's the case because. Fuck Bruce.
No, forget about that. Get out.
You're having pity on him?
Get
You
out.
he did tell me today that you said he's been doing a great job as of late.
Who the fuck told you that?
He said you said
didn't
that.
tell you that.
You told him what a great job he's been doing.
I said he did a good job painting down there. Listen, you get more fucking vinegar than or with sugar
Catch
than you
more
do vinegar.
bees with sugar than you
Yeah.
do with vinegar.
All right, yeah.
I can't pound them every day.
Do you have anything else to add?
pounding?
Do you have anything else to add?
No.
Bruce, do you have anything to add?
Nope.
Are you sure?
A positive.
Four?
Positive.
We'll end this fucking.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. Make sure to follow our socials, Instagram and Twitter at Tip Balls, TikTok at Tip Balls Podcast. A lot of good content coming out there as of late. You guys need to check it out. Also, remember to visit www.tipballs.com. Click the tipped thoughts icon, and you can read all of our latest blogs because there's some great reads on there right now. Other than that, thank you guys so much for listening. We will be back next Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Thanks.